Well, good morning, everybody, from the great rainy Pacific Northwest. I'm excited to be here this morning. We're just we're just getting started with our first ever Five Live presented by Stella Lighting with at Pink Robin Decor. We're just really excited to have her this morning and explore her art and who she is as a maker. And so it's good stuff. So we're just getting started here. This is our first initial launch. And let me see if I can patch her in. And
There
there
we
she
go.
is, our guest of honor.
Uh, Thanks so much for having me. Let me get my camera situated. There we go. All
Awesome.
right.
Awesome. Robin, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Excellent. I'm Nathan. It's just a pleasure to meet you.
You too. So good to meet you.
This is great stuff. We're really excited about rolling this out, this Five Live, and it's just it's a real honor to have you and
I'm
learn.
honored that you wanted to have me. So
Well, with this, and this isn't about us. This is about you and learning about you and your art and you as a maker, and hopefully we can give our audience just maybe a little bit more insight to kind of who you are. So let's kind of get rolling. We got to play this a little bit kind of from the hip, but we'll see how things shake out. So again, for everybody that's just joining in, my name's Nathan Wiedenman, and I am the president and founder and designer and garbage man and top sweeper and do a little bit of everything for Stella Lighting Inc. We're joined by a brilliant artist, Robin.
well, that's very
So,
humbling.
it's awesome. So anyway, let's just kind of jump right in. So just kind of set the stage a little bit for our audience. What is Five Live? Well, Five Live actually was created by our Chief Brand Officer, Logan. And it's designed to get a better look into the lives of the creators and these brilliant people out there that are bringing art and bringing things to their communities and just happen to collaborate with Stella Lighting products. But so the framework is we're going to present just 5 questions, and then we'll just kind of see how it goes. And again, it's about you and just wanting to get a better insight. So so what's going on this morning? Where are you joining us from? Tell us a little bit about you and your family, if you're willing to share where you live,
Of
that
course.
sort of.
Yeah. So I'm in Southern California, about an hour outside of Los Angeles. We moved here about 2 years ago from Colorado. That's where we had been for 10 years. I'm,
Big
first,
change.
what's that?
Big change.
A big change. Well, we moved back, so we're semi used to it, but yeah, still kind of making the adjustment. I'm at first a wife and a mom. I have 4 kids that span kind of across the board. I have a 13-year-old still at home. I have a 26-year-old who's out of the house and on his own. And I'm also a teacher, so that's kind of my first priority. Work for a university, and then I also run my creative business. So kind of a lot of balls that I'm throwing in the air.
What university?
I work for Biola University. It's a private Christian school here in Southern California.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool. That's exciting stuff. Well, my wife and I have a big family as well. We have 6 kids.
Oh, wow.
And my wife is also a school teacher. So
Oh, great.
not to go down too much of a rabbit hole, because again, this is really about the art, but I have a real passion for teachers and the work that they do. So Stacy teaches in the Springfield public school system, but also currently is homeschooling our kids, and went back and got her master's at, I think, 40. So I really admire the work that you do. So well done. And then,
oh, thanks. Thank you so much. Yeah, so I kind of manage my, creative business in the times that I'm not teaching. So it's been great. I mean, I can kind of do both of my passions and both of the things that I love.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome stuff. So you got a lot going on, to say the least. And
Yes.
how you do it all. I was checking out your website and I'm like, this art, this stuff's great. Like no stencils, hand painted. So we'll get into that, a little bit more, but you're an artist, you're a maker. So how did you like, those are pretty incredible dynamics to be teaching at a university, being a mom, and starting a business. I mean, that's a lot. So good for you, and you have the courage. So tell us a little bit, like, how did you get into the creative world?
Yeah, honestly, it really wasn't part of the plan. I mean, I feel like it's kind of like that for a lot of creative people. They kind of fall into it a little bit, or so to speak. I was working as an educator, and I do feel like that kind of tapped into that creative piece for me in the classroom, because it is kind of like, in a way, running your own business. You're running your own show there, and so that I kind of feel like that tapped into the creative piece, because I always have been a kind of a creative person. But I guess really what started happening was me using creativity as an outlet, especially when I went to working part-time when I had my kids when they were littler. And so I sort of started creating things more as gifts for family and friends. And that sort of started taking off to the point where my husband, who's super business oriented, said, "Hey, you should start a business." And I thought, there's just no way. I mean, no one's going to want to buy this. Like, are people really going to buy this stuff? He just really, if it weren't for him kind of giving me the push to say, I really think you could do something with this. I just don't think I would have taken the plunge. And really, I mean, I started out doing something very different than what I'm doing now, which was like repurposed art. But really, I love that. What's that?
Like mixed media type repurpose?
Kind of mixed media, taking like old stuff I would find and kind of revamping it, adding the mixed media component, adding things to it, like buying old like thrifted frames and lettering on that. And so what started kind of happening was that the lettering piece was really what was selling the most. And so my husband kind of encouraged me to push it in that hand lettering direction, because that really, I would say, is kind of my first love as far as art goes. And so that's, I guess, kind of the story. It really wasn't like part of a plan. It just, I kind of fell into it.
So, well, and so did you have any, like, I get this question a lot because I design lights, right? And they're like, what's your formal training? Are you an electrical engineer? I'm like, no, my mom was a hippie. She was a hippie art, oil painter. Like, so did you have formal training? How did you, like, well, let me take a step back just for a second, just to give our viewers maybe just a little bit more of a broad brushstroke of like the actual art that you create.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hand stenciled, right?
Well, I would call it hand lettering. So, hand lettering is different than calligraphy in the sense that calligraphy is a lot more formalized, where hand lettering, I guess you would say, you might say that it's more like drawing the letters. So really any person can do that, because you're drawing the letters in whatever style is kind of yours. So I would kind of say that's really more my knack. And as far as training goes, I mean, really just practice. I would say is the number one thing. I mean, I can remember, like, as a kid being bored in school and writing my name over 150 different times, like in whatever style I wanted, and shading it and coloring it. And I've always done that. I've always doodled, and I've always been a writer. And so I definitely think I'm just naturally kind of compelled to that, but really it's practice. I mean, there isn't really any formal training for me. People, a lot of times they'll look at my hand lettering and they'll ask me, what font are you using? And I think it's just that people can see something in my work that is similar, but that just comes from practice. That's what I tell people, is just practice, and you'll develop your own voice.
Yeah. Well, it's pretty awesome stuff. I mean, it's pretty, I mean, it's beautiful. It's creative. People desire it. It's, you can help, frankly speaking, make money for your family, and that's good stuff. So how do you constantly find yourself, or do you like, evolving as an artist?
That's
Like
a
what?
great question. Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, like I said, I think practice, but also I guess finding ways to kind of push yourself in new directions. I mean, initially my work was freehand lettering, mostly on wood surfaces. So let's say I'll just show an example. Like this is one of my new signs that's going to be coming out tomorrow, and I'll do a lettering here on the wood. And so, you know, that's kind of how my work started. But getting more into the digital side of things, so being able to move in that direction has also allowed me to make stickers and to make prints and to do t-shirts, and I can take my art and put it onto other things because, you know, to be honest, even if someone loves my wood signs, I mean, how much real estate do you have on your walls? You know, someone can only buy so much of that, so I can't just box myself into only doing wood signs. I have to find a way to kind of expand, I guess, to think of it like, I mean, as I'm sure you would, like developing a brand, right? You want to have a brand, not just be known for one.
Absolutely.
Exactly. So that's kind of what I'm doing, is just trying to find other ways to expand my art, I guess, across the board. I mean, I still love mixed media. I love hand lettering. I love color. And really my goal in my work is to be an encouragement. I feel like there's enough yuck and negativity in the world that I'd rather be opposite of that.
We need more hope.
So I feel like I can find new ways to push my art in other directions.
That's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome stuff. So, practically speaking, kind of what do you have going on like now on your plate? So you just mentioned you've got some new releases coming out tomorrow. Did it get there?
Tomorrow night, right? So basically, because I also teach, like I said, and it's all online right now, so I have lots of work to do online. I try to run my shop around that, and I have a bi-monthly wood sign restock. And so yeah, so that the first one for 2021 is tomorrow night.